Hey, the Dealmaker podcast. We're going to get straight to it live in Thailand. Part 2, the top 1% sales skills. I've also got my top consultant, Oliver, coming to the stage with me. Look, when you listen to what we're about to say, when you implement this, you will get more leads, you will get more sales, you will make more money. Let's go behind the scenes right now and stay tuned. How many years have you been in sales?
Close to 18 years.
18 years, well,
18
that
years.
is a long time. Don't look up. Let me ask you the same question. Obviously, you find selling easy, you've worked at it, you enjoy it. What is it about selling that you enjoy influencing, just to share with our great colleagues?
I think there was something that was shared earlier, right? And to be passionate about sales, you've got to have a belief deep in your core that the product or service that you are offering can fix someone's problem. That's key, that's paramount. And when you've got that belief and when you've got that desire to want to help someone, you'll be in a position where it becomes easier, it becomes natural to you. But as Nick rightly put it, there is also a great amount of money to be earned in sales. The commissions are uncapped, but it does come with a caveat. There is no floor, but there's no ceiling. So there is an untold amount of earning potential, and the ability, the byproduct of that is as well, you are changing people's lives. You're helping people to reach their goals. And that for me is one of the great things about working with you, Liam, is I get to see people go on incredible transformations. The difference from some of the people in this room from last year's retreat is outstanding. Dan, you've done incredible things with your property business, doing deals with Zane, Nana, we work together. You've done incredible things on the sales front. And when you get to see those results, even more so, the belief that you're able to help these people grows, and there is a desire, a burning desire to want to help more people, to get your message out there even more. And I think that for me is one of the biggest things, to be able to help people.
We're going to go straight to framing actually. So this is one of the most important things to get right when having conversations with your prospects. So Oliver, how would you describe framing? Write this down everyone, framing. So write framing down, and Oliver's going to give his view on framing.
It's probably the most underrated, the most unknown and underrated sales technique there is. Because what framing allows you to do is firstly build trust. So you become the trusted advisor. That then means you remove objections. So being able to frame the beginning of your sales consultation puts you in a position where you're setting the expectations. You never want to enter into a conversation at loggerheads with a client because they feel like they're being sold to. So framing can disarm that situation. It can put you in a position where you're offering advice, you're helping people, and that's the overall outcome that you want from your sales conversation. Now, an example of that would be, right, it's all about perspective. What are we gonna get from this conversation? So let me ask very quickly, Tudor, what's your favorite color?
If you did have one,
pick one. Black, okay. Fine. Zane, favorite color? Ask me mine. Ask me mine. Thank you for asking, Zane. Some of you might not know this, but I'm actually Turkish Cypriot. And growing up, I spent a lot of time in Cyprus with my dad and my mum. And most mornings at 6 a.m, we would go sea fishing. And the sea was beautifully still. And those are some really, really precious moments to me. And one thing that will always stick in my head is the color, the shade of blue that the sea was on those early mornings in those special moments I got to spend with my dad. Whose color are you more likely to remember?
Yours.
And that's the power of framing. It's about perspective. It's about building up that picture of what it is you want to achieve from that conversation.
Yeah, it's really, really important. So I'll give you an example of framing. And I know some of you here want to raise money for property deals. I've raised £9 million for property deals. Graduates of mine have raised many, many millions more. It's been responsible for me doing over £28 million worth of property deals. And one of the most important things that I do at the start of a conversation with any investor is I frame that conversation. So I may say something along these lines. Hey Oliver, it's really great to spend some time with you today. This meeting is going to go on for about 60 to 90 minutes. It is a great way for you to get to know me. I'm going to get to know you. You're sussing me out. I'm sussing you out. And you're going to get to ask me a whole bunch of questions. The purpose of this meeting is to really make sure that we're a good fit. Can I offer you a great service? And through this process, if we can make something work, incredible, hey, hopefully we'll be shaking hands at the end of the conversation. And if not, it's no problem. We'll go back to the drawing board. We'll see where we're at. But either way, this is going to be a great conversation. Does that sort of make sense, Oliver?
Completely.
Great, let's get into it. Have I set expectations? Have I made Oliver feel relaxed? But have I also subtly said, what am I hoping to do here? Get the deal. I'm hoping to get the deal, but hey, if not, it's no worries. We'll just go back to the drawing board. So you could frame your own framing when you are having a conversation with a landlord, couldn't you? With someone that's going to stay in your apartment, with someone that's going to buy your product or service. So while you're here, work on your framing statement that you can do. So that's something really, really key. And if all you got out of this situation was how to frame your next sales conversation better, would this session be well worth it? Yes or no, team? Yeah? Be well worth it. Just that one golden nugget can literally change every conversation you have moving forward. The first one is the Ben Franklin clothes. Oliver, what is this clothes?
So you're probably wondering, what does a founding father of America have to do with sales? So Ben Franklin had a method and a process that he went through when facing tough decisions. And that process was to write up a pros and a cons list, right? And this is a process you go through with your clients. Now you start off by asking the cons. There could be hundreds. There could be 200 cons, but they essentially come down to 3, which is time, money, and fear. It's essentially the 3 biggest objections that you'll deal with. So our job as salespeople, by handling these head on, we're not shying away from these objections. We're covering them. We're handling it head on. Our job is to help them with their pros, making sure the pros outweigh the cons, because if the cons outweigh the pros, probably not going to close them, right? So the pros would typically look like this. Systems in place. Yeah? Support. Saves time. Accountability. It's important to let your clients lead with the pros. It's not for you to do it. It's important to let them lead, okay? And ideally, you're looking for somewhere between 10 and 12 pros. That's ideally what you're looking for. And then there's a very, very simple closing statement at the end of this, once you've covered this list, and the closing statement is, can you see any other reasons why we shouldn't go ahead?
Makes sense, everyone, yeah? Okay, great. So you must remember that only 32% of your prospects are coming from a place of positivity. 68%, it's a typo there, 68% are coming from a place of negativity. They're driven negatively rather than positively. So doing something like this will really get them to see all of the great things about doing business with you. Okay, the summary close. What do we call it?
Summary close.
Summary close. This is a very, very powerful one. You can do it on a webinar. You can do it one-to-one. You can do it with your team. You can do it one-to-many on big stages. So when we talk about summary, where are we at, Oliver?
I think what's really special about this and why it's so actually powerful is its simplicity. Because it's a very simple close to use. At the end of your sales process, you are quite simply summarizing the outcome of the sale. That's moving your potential client from where they are now to where they want to be, and what the outcome of buying your product or service is going to be. That could look something like this. I'll do it for my developments. So Liam, if you were to invest £300,000 today, we would be looking at an 18-month term on the loan. We would look to offer you 1% per month, okay? And we would offer you second charge security against our personal residences. Is there anything else you need from me?
That absolutely makes sense. What happens if in 6 or 7 months I would need to get out of the investment? Is there any type of get out?
There isn't, because we're using your money to buy property, and essentially you are in for the term of the deal.
Great, okay, that's fine.
And what he did there was put an objection up. I didn't shy away from it. I handled it head on, because it has to work for both of us. If it doesn't work for Liam, and in 7 months' time he's going to need his money back, I can't give it to him. So he's probably not the right person for me to work with right now, unless he can fully commit to the 18-month term. So never shy away from objections. There is a saying, the sale starts at no. Typically speaking, a client will say no 7 times before they get closer to a yes. So embrace the no's. Understand your product, understand your details, understand what you're able to do for this person.
Yeah, this is really important, to be able to summarize every element of what you're offering, so you can really demonstrate someone like the journey that they're going to go on with you. And if you do this, this is what you're going to get. When you then do that, this is the outcome you're going to get, and you summarize that to someone. So you're now going to go coaching with clients. You'll use this a hell of a lot, because when you are offering a service of mentoring, people want to know the outcome. The next one, this is really, really cool. This is called the Columbo Clothes. Has anyone heard of this actually, by the way? Maybe 1 or 2 people. Yeah, okay, great. Oliver, over to you.
Can anyone actually tell me Columbo's famous words?
Just one more question.
There you go, Charlie. So yes, that's exactly it.
And when does he do that? As he's about to what? Walk, yeah, he walks out, the person thinks they're safe. But I've got away with the murder. I know we've got no murderers in the room, well, I hope not anyway. And then he does this thing, right? So
and that's, that's exactly how it was used. So Columbo's process was a really hard interrogation. Then he would walk away, turn around and say, just one more thing. And they would have thought that they've got away with the crime, they're completely disarmed, and that's where Columbo would catch the majority of his criminals. That's how he would solve his cases. And it's used the same way in a closing process. If you are in a position where you are unsuccessful in closing the sale, and a client or yourself, we are parting ways, our guards have relaxed. We are no longer in that sale process. We are now just talking as 2 people. So you can say, Liam, just one more thing. What was the actual reason that you didn't sign up with me today? What was the actual reason that you didn't buy this product from me today? And because the guard has been relaxed, Liam will turn around and it will work. I assure you of that. Liam will say, well, I just don't think it was the right colour for me. Ah, but Liam, come back here. So what you're getting is the real objection. And that's the beauty of the Columbo Clothes. You're disarming a prospect and you are getting the real objection of why they're not doing business with you.
Because we've all been there and done it. We want to do something, but we give ourselves some excuse as to why we can't do that next move. Does that make sense, team, yeah? You've done it, I've done it, I limit myself with it, but could your customers be doing the same thing, yes or no, team, yeah? And you may have heard something like buyers are liars. because it's fear comes up when your client is put into a situation where they know they need to make the decision. Fear can come up, and that comes out sideways, backwards, upside down, and they come up with all of these things that don't actually, they're not real. They're not real. Yeah, it's disillusion in their mind. So this is a really, really, really good one. Okay, would you like one more? Yes or no, team? Okay, write this down. Raise your hand if you find this useful, by the way. Yeah, really, really great. So this next one is clarify, discuss, and diffuse. Oliver, my man?
So this one's really to be used if you're getting objections after one of your closes, right? It's to understand what's prevented the sale. So you would use this process. So you can clarify the statement, discuss the objection, and diffuse the objection. And there are certain ways that you ask this stuff, right? So a clarify statement, someone could say to you, well, I can't make the payment. You don't say, what do you mean? It's very passive aggressive. What do you mean? What you can say is, how do you mean? And my tonality changes. It becomes very inquisitive. And what I'm doing there is I'm just really engaging in a conversation because I don't actually know what that person means by that statement. It could be they don't want to buy our product or service, or it could just mean they don't have their card with them today. So we want to understand what's preventing the sale, right? So we say, how do you mean? And you get the objection.
Yeah.
Well, Oliver, I just don't have my card with me today. Okay, I understand. Well, what if I could set up a call with you next week and we could discuss payment options then? You've diffused the situation, you've discussed the objection, and you've dealt with it.
Hey, I really hope you've enjoyed part 2 of the top 1% sales skills. That was an incredible session. What you need to do now is go and implement this into your business, into your world, have better conversations, build better relationships. You deserve more. You can be a leader in your field. Embrace sales. If I can do it, you can do it. And I'll see you in the next episode.